Imagine being asked to install a CCTV camera outside an Indian airbase, or photograph a railway station, or map a key road, and then quietly send that footage live to someone sitting across the border in Pakistan. Now, Indian investigators say that this is exactly how Shehzad Bhatti network operated, and it gets more disturbing. The man accused of recruiting these operatives wasn't hiding in a terror camp. He was operating from the UAE and using Instagram and Facebook to find young men in India and recruit them. A few thousand rupees for simply putting up a poster. Then came recon, then weapons, and then online instructions on how to make petrol bombs and IEDs. In other words, a Pakistani gangster allegedly turned social media into a recruitment office, and Indian youngsters into the eyes, ears, and eventually the foot soldiers of a terror network. Just days before Independence Day, India says it broke that network across 14 states. So, who exactly is Shehbaz Bhatti? How did a gangster with lakhs of followers on Insta and Facebook build a terror pipeline into India? On August 12th, Indian agencies launched a coordinated crackdown across 14 states. The numbers are striking. 253 people were detained, with more than 200 arrests linked to the network and over 80 FIRs registered. The action stretched from UP, Haryana, and Delhi to Punjab, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Gujarat, Telangana, Kerala, Jammu and Kashmir. It was pan India. And then came the recoveries: IEDs, pistols, live ammunition, petrol bombs, CCTV cameras, and grenades bearing markings of Pakistan's Ordnance factory. This wasn't simply a gang being rounded up. Investigators say they had uncovered a network combining crime, weapons, surveillance, narcotics, and terrorism, all with the blessings of Pakistan's ISI. And at the center of that investigation is one name: Shehzad Bhatti. Bhatti is not your stereotypical terror mastermind. He reportedly operates from the UAE, has cultivated the online image of a gangster-influencer. 2.5 lakh followers on Instagram, 4.5 lakh on Facebook. And according to Indian investigators, that audience wasn't just useful for publicity, it was a recruitment pool. Investigators say Bhatti would watch who liked, commented, or interacted with his posts, and then some of those users were handpicked, chosen, and approached privately. The first offer would be something as mundane or innocent as putting up a poster carrying Bhatti's photograph. The reported payment for this task was around 5,000 to 10,000 rupees. But the small job was just the first test. According to police sources cited by multiple media outlets, some of these recruits were then moved from posters to more dangerous assignments: throw a grenade, plant an explosive, conduct recon, install surveillance equipment, photograph sensitive locations. In one case, apparently, recruiters were asked to install CCTV cameras outside, let's say, railway station and air bases. Investigators say that the footage in these CCTV cameras could be relayed directly to Pakistan. The logic is chillingly simple: don't recruit a terrorist. Recruit someone willing to do one small job, then give him another, and then another, until the line between petty crime and terrorism disappears. So basically, Bhatti turned social media algo into a recruiter. This model starts with a smartphone. A social media account becomes the storefront. Likes and comments become indicators of interest. Private messages become the first contact. Money becomes the incentive, and encrypted platforms can then take the conversation somewhere which is much harder to monitor. Indian agencies accuse Bhatti of influencing or gathering up young men who were unemployed, financially vulnerable, involved in petty crime, or simply looking for quick ways to really make a buck and then draw them into this ecosystem. The recruit doesn't really need to know how the entire operation took place. He only knew his task, and that makes this network harder to expose. The National Investigation Agency has already linked Bhatti to multiple terror cases. The NIA says its investigation traced the March 2025 grenade attack on the residence of social media influencer Roger Sandhu, that was in Jalandhar, to Bhatti. It has also accused him of masterminding the November 2025 explosion at the Women Police Station in Sirsa and the January 2026 car bomb blast at Baldevnagar Police Station in Ambala. In June, the NIA searched 18 locations across Punjab and Haryana as part of 3 Bhatti-linked terror gangster investigations, examining digital devices, documents, communications, and of course, very crucially, financial links. So the August crackdown appears to be the culmination of a much longer investigation. The real significance of the August 12th operation is not simply the number of arrests. It is the intelligence picture behind them. A network spread across 14 states was hit simultaneously. Weapons and explosives were recovered. Digital links are being examined. Financial trails are being investigated. And the agencies are now working backwards from local operatives to handlers, from handlers to communication channels, and potentially from those channels to the larger Pakistan-based ecosystem. In other words, India wasn't just trying to catch the foot soldiers, it was trying to break the network. And crucially, it happened before Independence Day, before a potentially dangerous network could convert recon, weapons, and explosive info into an actual attack. Pakistan predictably has rejected the allegations. Its Foreign Office called Amit Shah's claims linking Pakistan and the ISI to the arrests baseless and described India's accusations as part of a malicious campaign. And that denial will now be tested against the evidence emerging from the investigation. Because the agencies aren't merely alleging a Pakistani connection, they are pointing to specific handlers, communications, weapons recoveries, and cases allegedly linked to Bhatti. So the Shehzad Bhatti case may tell us something important about the next generation of terror networks. That terrorists may not look like a terrorist. He may be a petty criminal, a jobless youngster, a delivery boy, a local vendor, somebody just chasing easy money. And the recruiter may not approach him in a mosque, a madrasa, or a training camp. He may find him through an Instagram comment. That is the evolution that India now has to confront. And Pakistan's blanket denial, delivered within hours of the disclosure and the crackdown, without addressing the specific evidence, including weapons bearing its own ordnance factory markings, follows a pattern that's really grown painfully familiar. Evidence gets presented, denials get issued, and the underlying question of whether Pakistan's intelligence establishment continues enabling these networks remains exactly where it's always been, unresolved and unanswered. This is Times Access. I'm Aditi Prasad, and if you like this explainer, please click on the bell icon below to like, subscribe, and never miss a Times Access update.
A nuclear weapon.
The old rules are breaking. Alliances are shifting.
Apologize again to the victims of the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
Wars are redrawing maps. Oil routes can shake economies overnight. One election in America can impact markets in Mumbai.
No tax on tips.
One move by China can alter the balance in Asia. One conflict in West Asia can hit every Indian household. This is no longer a distant story. This is our story. Your story. Because for the first time in decades, India is not watching from the sidelines. India is rising. India is negotiating. India is balancing rivals. India is building military strength. India is shaping trade routes. India is becoming central to the new global order. And yet, most global news is still told through someone else's lens. Washington's lens, Beijing's lens, London's lens. But where is India's lens? Where is the platform that explains the world from our perspective? Welcome to India's Axis, a new destination for geopolitics, strategy, and power seen through India's eyes. From Neighborhood Watch to the biggest global stories that matter to you. Why tensions in the Taiwan Strait matter to India. How one move by China can affect India's security. What turmoil in Pakistan means for regional stability. How Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan shape India's neighborhood. Why oil choke points can hit your wallet. How wars abroad can reshape India's security. This is not noise. This is not shouting. This is not recycled headlines. This is sharp, intelligent storytelling. Daily explainers, war room analysis, strategic conversations. Because news is everywhere, but perspective is rare, and in the age of confusion, clarity is power. Axis is for the audience that wants more than headlines. The axis of global power is shifting. India is at the center of that shift. It's time the world was explained accordingly, to understand the world through India's strategic lens. Subscribe now.